Hi everyone, welcome. In this video we are going to talk about logistic regression, and then we are going to build a logistic regression model using Excel. This may be a couple of videos long, so I'm going to cut the video in maybe 10-15 minutes and I will just proceed with the next video. So we will be using a data set from UCI's machine learning repository, and this is a heart disease data set. It could be any type of a data set. This model is going to try to find out the probability of an event happening given some factors. So the probability of a dependent variable given that there are certain number of independent variables. Let's get started. So here is my data set, and the data set just indicates that the age, gender, and a lot of medical information, and then the target value is whether or not the person has heart disease. And here you are seeing that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 that the person does not have heart disease, and 1, 2, 3, 4 have some kind of a heart disease. So instead of just using multiple target values, I'm just going to, in this video, we will just use two values, 0 or 1. 0, no heart disease, and 1 being heart disease. So it's a categorical response, and we will try to build a model using logistic regression idea. Okay, so what I did here is I cleaned the data set, and that heart disease I put it in the first column here, and all the other variables, and we will just use Excel to build the model. But first of all, let's just give a quick introduction to logistic regression. What we are trying to find is we are trying to find a y value, but this y is going to be a probability between 0 and 1, and it is going to have an intercept b0 plus it is going to have b1 as slope times x. But instead of just having one slope, one independent variable, we have 13 of them. We cannot use a linear regression model in this case. Just having a value between 0 and 1 does not satisfy the assumptions of linear regression. So instead, we know that the probabilities go between 0 and 1, but we will just try to manipulate that. And we are going to start just thinking about, what if we just say odds equal to b0 plus b1x? If we could just build this model with odds, and then we could just turn odds into probabilities. But we realize that the odds also are, there's a bound for them. They go between 0 to infinity. So instead of just using odds, what we could do is we could use log of odds. And we know that the log of odds are unbounded, so there is no bound either. So technically they could just go to negative infinity to positive infinity. And we could just build that b0 plus b1x. In this case, having this log of odds, we could build this model. Once we find this, we could just find the odds from here, and then from the odds we could find the probability. And we will, instead of using this, we will just use this. This log of odds are called logit. So we will build a model to calculate the logits, and then from the logits we will just find odds, and from the odds we'll find the probability. Let's just give a quick demo. If the probability is the success, let's say having a heart disease, is 0.1, and what is the failure? In this case, it's a good thing, all right? It is just 1 minus the probability, and that's 0.9. We know that the odds are probability of success divided by probability of failure, so it's 0.1 divided by 0.9. Most of the time you are not saying it in this format. What you are saying is you are seeing them as a fraction, like 1/9. So my odds are 1/9. So, and if I change that into, for example, 0.00001, the odds are going to be a small number. Let's just change it back to a number and increase the accuracy. So this is the odds. But when I change that to log of odds, and the log of odds are going to be the log value of this number, and that's a negative number, okay? So if I make this a very small number, 0.00000, just maybe hundreds of zeros and one, then the log of odds is going to be a negative number. Not too big, but technically it could just go to infinity. So that's the log of odds. If I make this 0.999999, and then, oops, I need to change the probability, not that, 0.99999, and here the odds are high, and the log of odds is a positive value. Okay, so if we found this out, what is then, how do I go back? Once I find the log of odds, and can I just turn into that to odds? And I can do that by just saying that e to the log of odds will just give odds. And then from odds, how do I find the probability? So what is P in terms of odds? P is equal to what? Now you need to do a very small algebraic manipulation here. Stop the video, find that out, and come back if you want to just yourself, challenge yourself with a simple algebra. So the P is going to be odds divided by 1 plus odds. Okay, and did you pause the video? If not, okay, that's fine. So the probability we could find from here. So here we go. How many minutes that we spent? 6 minutes. So far, so good. Okay. Some of you may be watching this in double speed, so it's good. 3 minutes. Now the heart disease is 0 and 1. I said that we will not just be using more categories. We'll just use 0 or 1. 0 indicates no heart disease, and 1 indicates a heart disease. This individual has heart disease, but this one doesn't have, but this one has, and the next one has, etc. So how do we find this model? But before that, assume that we found this best model. We found this, in linear regression we call line of best fit, but we could also say that the line of best fit for the log of odds. Okay, so we will try to find that model, and first we assume that we know those numbers, and we say, so what is the value of logit for this person? And we know that it is B0, the intercept, plus the slopes times the values of the independent variables, so gender, CP, age, etc. So what we do is we are going to just take the intercept and freeze the row, because we'll copy this down, plus then we will multiply this by this, plus this by this, plus this by this, and we'll do that 13 times. Well, we don't want to do that. We just want to use a sum product. If I use a sum product, we will just take these values and freeze them again, and then put a comma and multiply them with these. It is going to sum them, multiply them, and sum them after. So that's the logit for the first individual. And then just double click, make sure that it works. Yes, so it is just using those coefficients and these values of the independent variables. And then from the logit we could find odds by just using the e to the logit is odds. Now 1. If odds are 1, that means the probability is half, correct? So that means it is 1 over, it is odds over 1 plus odds. Okay, so that's the probability of heart failure for this individual. And let's just now look at this situation very quick. Because all these numbers are the same, I want to make, just get a little different probability there. Make this, let's just take this, make it -3. Or let's make it -2, doesn't matter. And what if I just put 1 in B1? Oops, it didn't work. 0.1, 0.98, that's good. I'm just going to delete that. Just keep it like this. So this individual, the probability of heart failure is 11%. But what is the then probability of real correctly guessing that this person doesn't have 0? And that means we will say that this person 0 is, if one probability of 1 is 11%, 11.9%, probability of getting 0 is 1 minus this. And for this person, it is 1 minus this probability, but for the next person, the person has a heart disease, so this is going to be 11.9% correct match probability. So in this case, I will just use an if statement. If this individual doesn't, if this value is equal to 1, then it is going to be just this value, right? Because this is the probability of heart failure. But if it is not, then it is going to be 1 minus this, Q5. And that's it. So 88%, we were able to kind of guess this one with this model. But the next one, we thought that it was going to be 11%. But it is, the correct match is not 11%. The correct match is, what we're seeing here is, this is 1. 1 is the 11%, I'm sorry, and that 11% is what? Not a good indicator of a person who is going to have a heart disease. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to maximize all of these probabilities at the same time. We want to maximize this, and this, and this, and all of them. And we know that these are independent events. So all these patients are independent from each other. So one being a high probability doesn't mean that the other one is going to have low probability or not. So because these are independent events, if I maximize the probability of each one being the largest, that's the same thing as probability of maximizing their joint probability. So we want to maximize this and this and this. We want to maximize P1 times P2 times P3 times P4. But there's a problem with that. The problem is, if we want to maximize that, this number will go to a very small number in a very short time. And in order to, let's just see it. If I multiply all these numbers, let's just take a couple of them. As you can see here, this is a small number. And how would I maximize this very small number? The algorithms or the solver that I use will not be able to maximize a small number because they will not really look at, they don't have that much accuracy in their let's say, codes. And what we want to do is, instead of just maximizing that multiplication, we want to take the log of each value. And if I take the log of this number, this probability, and if I take the log of all of these, and then I can maximize the sum of these log values of these probabilities. Like, think it in this way. I want to maximize, if I want to maximize, let's just take 3 values. P1 times P2 times P3. Okay. And if I take the logs of those, so what's going to happen is I can also maximize the log of P1 times the log of P2. So I'm going to take the log of each one of them, I'm sorry. I'm just going to maximize the log of everything. Maximize the log of P1 times P2 times P3. And maximizing these numbers is the same thing as maximizing their log transformation. And then once I find that, and what I could do is, instead of maximizing log of P1 times P2 times P3, because of the properties of the log distribution, logistic transformation here, log of P1, it is going to be log of P1 plus log of P2, log of P3, etc. So we could just maximize log of P1 times log of P2, log of P1 plus log of P2 plus log of P3, etc. So why is this the case? Because log A times B is equal to log A plus log B. That's the property, that the word that I wasn't able to remember. Okay, so instead of maximizing the multiplication of this, we will just maximize the sum of this. So what is the sum of those values? Sum of those log likelihoods, and that's negative 135. So the negative 135, we want to maximize that. Let's just do that. Under data tab, we have the solver. If you don't have the solver, just go to file, options, and add-ins, and Excel add-ins, and go and just check the solver, add-in, and OK. And if you have a Mac computer, just go to Google and just look for solver for Mac, and then just proceed with it. Now from here, I want to maximize this using the solver, and I already put them in here, so let me just reset them. So I want to maximize this number by changing all of these values. Okay, and then I'm using nonlinear, and I'm not going to make them all positive, that they could be negative values. Then I'm hoping that Excel will be able to give us that solution. And Excel just goes down to, okay, so it was able to reduce to a negative 44.44. And let's just do one more time. And let's see if it just goes down a little bit more. Let's look at the accuracy of this. Nonlinear convergence, just increase its population side. And okay, let's try to see if this trial solution. Okay, so it looks like this could be it. I'm hoping that it is. So negative 44.44. And then we are looking at the probability of correct matches. It looks like it's a good higher probabilities that we are seeing here. So that's a nice thing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to assume that the cutoff is, let me just see if the time is up, 18 minutes, guys. So this is the first part of the video. We are going to cut off here, and no pun intended, and then we are going to start with the new video. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.